So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. 3 brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after class is when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we are live.
Here we go.
So how important is the support network?
Oh, we're getting right to it. Wow. We're usually about 6 minutes in before we talk about what we're supposed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Should we retract?
No. Let's go. We open the can. Can't get the cat back in the bag. How important is support?
Yeah, support network.
I think we've talked about this a couple times probably in the past. I think it's huge. I'm a firm believer that nobody does anything by themselves. Can people make things happen when people are not supporting them, like actively not supporting them? Yes. But I think along the way, there's always somebody on the other end of the spectrum who is uplifting them, right? If your parents or your teachers, it's usually not your teachers, if your parents or your friends, who you think your friends are impacting you negatively, you will probably along the way find somebody who is going to support you to achieve certain things in your life. I don't think anybody, does anything completely 100% on their own.
Is it possible to achieve something on your own?
I don't know. I guess not, right? If I just, I haven't seen very many examples of it. And people will tell you stories about somebody who had a terrible father, or maybe no parents at all.
But that doesn't mean that they don't have a support network.
Somebody along the way,
right,
gave them, and I'm talking those crazy, extreme scenarios, but somebody along the way made a positive impact in their life, or gave them support they needed, whether it was financial, whether it was emotional, whether it was in some sort of instructional way. They received it from someplace. Whether it's your employees, whether it's, your partner in life, somebody along the way has supported you in some way to help you get to where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And we did talk about this quite a bit at this point, but I think what's interesting in my mind that sometimes the support doesn't come as visible as we envisioned it or as we would like to, and yet it's there. So sometimes, I guess what I'm referring to, sometimes we have that individual in our life who's just there, who is just listening.
Yeah.
Who's not even writing a check or is not doing anything. He's not building our house. He's not, giving us a ride. He's just there. We know we are there. And sometimes all it takes is a text message or a thumbs up or a little nod, And I think this is really visible on the mat oftentimes when we go through a point of struggle. We hit, what some refer to as plateaus or, and we get this little nod from somebody. Good work, and that just lights the fire right underneath. That's the supportive network. That's the people who show up on the days who we don't want to show up on. These are the people who, tell us just go do it. What you got to lose, And sometimes that little push really changes the complete direction of where everything would be going.
Sure, absolutely. You get in your own head quite often about all the reasons why you can't. Or why you won't be good at something. And just that little, like you said, that little head nod or somebody saying something as impactful as, what do you got to lose, can make a huge difference in somebody's lives. It's the difference between trying and not trying. It's the difference between pushing forward and quitting, but oftentimes people don't, that's so small and fleeting that you might not recognize it. So later down the road, when someone may think that they didn't have any support, well, they really did. It was that guy, that girl that said those things, that was there for you, that listened, that just kept their mouth shut and listened while you vented about something, and it can make a huge impact. And that is the support. I think those little things, is the support that really can help you, because we were talking about this is off of Felipe's episode, and his dad said, go do it, give it your best shot. You can always come back here. And you said safety net. And I thought, well, sometimes a safety net is a bad thing because it gives you an out. This is getting hard. I'm going to go back home. And he did really have a really very supportive and wonderful father.
Well, I think a lot of this,
but what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't have to be that noticeable. It can be something very, very small, intangible, that leaves an imprint in the back of your head. You might not even recognize it, but it has helped propel you forward.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part is that sometimes support comes in different shapes of forms, right? And it sometimes it is that check that we might need, or the physical help that we are seeking.
Right.
But sometimes it's just that nod, that little thing that it almost means nothing. And I think and you said sometimes safety nets puts us in that point of we can go back and it doesn't propel us forward. And I think whoever's supporting us, if they know us well, they know how to support us.
Oh,
Sometimes it is get your ass out of the chair and go to the gym, right? And sometimes some of the guys say I was home, I was grumpy, and my wife kicked me out of the house.
Happens to me.
Yeah, and that's the support. And sometimes is this one of those things where you play the little ego game. You don't have to do it,
right?
But if you do, I'm here for you. It's your call. And then it's like, God damn it, she told me or he told me I cannot do it. I'm going to go and do it anyway. That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's what propels you forward, right? So knowing the people we support and having people in our corners who know us, I think is a big, big part of it, right? Because for others, if we play the opposite direction, it's going to be like, oh, I have a safety net. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
That's not the support we're looking for, right? This is not. This works in the complete opposite to what we are talking about, right? Yeah. But knowing what to say and when to say it to really propel that person forward is oftentimes important.
Yeah, I think so. It's very important. I remember when I was younger, I was given an out. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back, and I could have gotten what I thought I wanted at the time. I was given that out, and I realized that if I was to go that direction, I was really disappointing that other person. And so instead of saying, oh, I get what I want now, I was like, oh, if I take that option, I'm really actually going to disappoint this person. And I really don't want to do that. I've been doing that long enough.
Yeah.
right? And we're at this. It was like I was at a crossroad, a fork in
Yeah.
the road. I'm gonna get what I thought I wanted if I made a right, and if I don't, I'm actually probably gonna be better off for it. And that person was either done with me at that time, or it was a little bit of reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Whatever. I don't care anymore. What do you mean you don't care anymore?
Yeah.
You're supposed to care. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you care about this? This is important. And maybe that made me realize, okay, this is important.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well,
I
sometimes
need to get off my butt and take care of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and sometimes we need that, right? I mean, I remember, and I said this on the show a few times already, but, when I was starting jiu-jitsu journey, I was told flat out, you'll never get to that black belt.
Mhm.
This is not for you. Go, might as well quit right now. Keep training while you do, because you'll never get there. And in some way, looking in retrospect, I think that was a big reason why I was curious about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the propeller, but in some way, I think maybe it was. It was like, what do you mean I can't do this? And the continuous curiosity. And I think we find ourselves many times throughout our life, in those positions where we make those choices based on the support network that we have behind us.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the person that told you that knew that was the right thing to tell you, or did they tell that to everybody?
I don't know.
To like weed people out.
We never know. We'll never know that answer. And we can speculate on this, but I think, whether it was intentional or not, I know that made an impact enough where 20 plus years, I still remember that event.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, at times walking away, knowing that a person has it is the right thing to do. And sometimes telling them, hey, I got your back no matter what you do.
Yeah.
That's the supportive network that we need sometimes too, because we need to hear that sometimes too.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, whatever you choose, it doesn't matter. I got your back. No matter what happens, where this is going, nothing is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll be here. I'll be hanging out. You let me know. And that's important too. So why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. I'm smiling. I'm just thinking about different people throughout my life who have dealt with me in one way or another, and how that impacted me and, pushed me in the right direction. I'm talking about people that whatever the situation was made me go in a positive direction. And so I'm smiling. Yeah. I love those people.
Well, but then on the flip side, I think lack of that support network has, similar impact on us, just could take us in a different direction.
Yeah.
Right? So like in Nick's case, if his father would tell him, is like, listen, do whatever you want, period. The result could have been very different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instead, he told him, do whatever you want, but if things don't work out, I'll be here. Yeah. Right? We'll be here. You have a place to come back. And that changes the, trajectory of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? How all of this could unfold.
Sure.
And I think that a lot of those things have a big impact on our lives as we continue making decisions, especially as we are younger and make some of those big decisions in our lives, which really change, a pivot.
Yeah.
Where we might be.
I don't remember who. I think it was Kyle Watson that we were talking to not that long ago, but he was saying that he just wants to nudge people. You don't have to push them,
mm-hmm.
but if you just nudge them a little,
mm-hmm.
and it changes the trajectory,
mm-hmm.
right? And it sends them off down on their own path, where you don't have to, you're not supporting somebody maybe by saying you have to do it this way,
mm-hmm.
right? No, just a little bump and off they go,
Yeah.
And then a whole new scenario opens up.
I was recently reading an article where, the example was, if you change a path, if you drew a straight line in front of you, and then you drew another line, just 1 degree
mm-hmm.
off to the other side, you will not see much difference when you go 20 feet ahead of you. You go 100 feet, you'll see a little bit difference. But when you go several miles out or 100 miles out, you're going to end up in a very different place. You continue that, you're going to be on a different continent.
Mm-hmm.
And, in life, oftentimes we find ourselves in those spots where right at this moment, we don't see that change. It's irrelevant to us. But what happens down the road is it takes us completely different direction.
Yeah, for sure. It's all those little things, right?
So how do you think we can be supportive to others with that supportive network? Is there such thing as too much of a supportive network when we are overwhelming?
I don't know. I mean, are you talking about like getting to the point where you're doing everything for that person?
Maybe.
You know, I know that then they can't exist on their own.
Yeah.
So, you need to, for me anyway, you always need to look out for what is the best. You have the best intentions.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize that maybe they need to figure it out on their own. They need to be put in a position where, like I was, where I have this decision to make. Do I go right? Do I go left? If I made the wrong decision, who knows? My life might be better even than it is now. Because I might have had to gone through some hardships that made me make the right decision further down the road that changed things. I don't know. I never will. But had that person, I don't know how to, maybe that's not the best way to think about it or the best story to tell about it. But if somebody is making those decisions for me, I would never gain the knowledge and the wisdom that I did from it. So you're just kind of passively going through life. Right? Mom and dad set me up through school. Mom and dad did this. Mom and dad did that. That easily could be looked at as I always had a safety net, but it's really just somebody doing the work for you, right? And making things easy for you.
Yeah.
We always talk about, like bringing it back to jujitsu. Jujitsu is supposed to be hard. We just had another recent conversation where we don't want it to turn into like karate in the 80s. It still always needs to be hard. You need to be able you need to be forced to test yourself. And if without that, then you're just hanging out, you're just having a good time.
Yeah.
You're not learning, you're not developing skill, you're not problem solving, and at
the same time, so look, like more I'm thinking about this whole topic is if we don't have support in a network, then we are hyper focusing on what if, right? We are over exaggerating the bad things that might happen. If we have too much of a supportive network, then we are not going through the experiences of growing.
Right.
Now, with this very fine balance of having people behind us when we know we can lean on, yet we're doing the work that is necessary. Now we are growing, yet we know if something goes wrong, we do have people to count on.
Yeah, for sure. And you have people that you can go and ask even,
Well,
very
that's all
simple.
part of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very simple for me, I know whatever problems I'm having in life, there's probably somebody in my circle that I can ask advice. I can go to and say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. What do you think?
Yeah.
Right? What decision should I make? Or did I, maybe I blew it already. I made the wrong decision already, and that's I'm fortunate enough to have that. And so far so good.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's a big one. Good
I'm
you.
a lucky guy. I am. I got to I just keep telling myself that.
Well, we're not gonna blow that one. That's all good.
Yep. All right. Are we done here?
Yeah, let's wrap up, lucky guy.
All right. See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.